Have you with us? Let's go to the Simply Safe listener line. We're going to do that now. Brought to you by Simply Safe. You can protect your home and family today at simplysafe.com/sports. So the NBA is where we begin. We know we have Robinson Cano. We'll get to that. We'll do a little gambling. We'll get to that. We'll get into a little Winnipeg and a little Caps. We'll get to that. And we'll talk to you. Let's start with Huck in Missouri. Mad Dog Unleashed. Huck, good afternoon. It's your turn. How are you today, pal? What do you have for me?
Doing good. Always nice to lead off to your show there, pal. Listen, Shinnecock can't get here fast enough for me, Chris. Shinnecock is all I've got left until the 1st of September as a sports fan. I was actually looking forward to this series a few weeks ago because I thought maybe Houston, as good a regular season as they had, Harden was the MVP. Wasn't sure how Curry was going to come back from the injury. I thought maybe there was a chance he might not be 100%, and I thought Houston might have a shot, and I was looking forward to it. Now, after watching last night, listen, Chris, Durant completely destroyed the NBA for me when he left and went to Golden State because it made Golden State absolutely unstoppable.
Too good.
It took Oklahoma City out of the equation.
Excellent point.
It's tough, Chris. I mean, Golden State's going to win. There's no drama. I'm going to watch the finals because why not? You know, there's nothing else on TV. But it took the drama out of it, and I'm disappointed. I'm really disappointed. I appreciate Golden State, the greatness of Golden State. I do if they're challenged. But they're not being challenged. So how can I really appreciate this greatness when they're not even being tested?
Plus the fact they got great by the cheap. They got great because Durant joined a winning team. That is the biggest issue that I have, and I agree with you wholeheartedly in everything you said. Durant is an unbelievable player. I would have respected him a hell of a lot. We've gone through this 1,000 times. He should have beaten Golden State the chance he had 2 years ago, and he should have gone to a franchise that didn't need him needed him a lot more than the Warriors did. They're too good. I mean, in this day and age, when you can pile up and you get your good players wanting to play with each other and the freedom that they have and the cap scenario and what have you. They're too good. I mean, Golden State right now listen, I mean, let's call it like we see it. They have lost 3 playoff games in the last 2 years here. They lost a playoff game to Cleveland up 3-0. They had a bad game in New Orleans. They got killed, and they lost a game to San Antonio when they were half asleep, and they didn't have Curry. I mean, they have lost 3 playoff games, and right now going on, this is their 7th series with Durant and the team, and they've lost 3. Count them. 3 playoff games, and never a game when they had to win it. So I'm with you, Huck. I think it's a major problem for the league. I mean, Golden State is a team. It's like going to an art gallery and gawking at the wonderful work by Renaissance painters. I'll buy that, but I'm past that now. I've been there. How many times can I go to these great art museums in Florence? Now I want to see I want to see this guy battle this guy. I don't need to see. I've seen greatness. I know what it looks like. I've seen it for 100 years. They were put together because Durant took the easy way out. There's no arguing there. And I'm not saying, I wouldn't have ever done what he did because I need the challenge. He didn't want that. He wanted to win some championships, and he wanted to be the and he didn't like the way Westbrook and all that. I get that, and who's to say then that he's wrong? I mean, he is their best player. He's better than Curry. It's Durant's team. I mean, I think maybe you can take that to the bank. I don't think it's Curry's team anymore. They feed off Durant. I mean, it's Durant's basketball team. He proved it last year in the final. It's his team. I don't know. They probably would have. I don't know if they would have beaten Cleveland last year without Durant. I don't know. I don't know if they would beat. I don't think they beat Houston without Durant. It's Durant. He's great, and they're too good, and it's boring. And, it's not boring last night, but it's going to be boring here. Tell me if you're going to sit there and be riveted when they're up 3-1 going into Game 5. Or when they're in the NBA Final and they're blitzing the Celtics or the Cavaliers. You're going to be bored stiff. As Huck said, you'll be waiting for the Shinnecock there on June 14th. Here is Henry in Connecticut. He's with us here on Mad Dog Unleashed. Henry, it's your turn. How are you today, pal? What do you have for me?
Hey, my man. Great to talk to you, Chris.
Hello, Henry. What's up?
Going back to the crack meat. You hit it on the head. I was a big fan of your show in the 90s when I was coming up and, in school. And I'm curious to get your take, dog, on how you think both Bulls teams, the first 3 championships. I know it's hard going retro era, but my first question or point is, how would that Jordan team with Pippen and Rodman and Ho Grant and those guys have fared against this team? And number two, what do you make of Kerr's role in all of this? I don't hear you talk about him too much. I mean, I don't know if he has a part in it. His philosophy, his style, I think his demeanor is good for the team. But I'm with you, man, on Durant. It's like, I guess it's like there's no longer Curry's team. I mean, when LeBron got to Miami, it wasn't about Wade. Maybe a year. But this is now his team.
Oh, no doubt about it. This is Durant's team. I mean, that Curry can do anything he wants. Curry is a wonderful, creative shooter, and what he does with the basketball. But to put him in this discussion is an insult. And Curry did not play well against Irving. Outplayed him, and he did not do much in finals before Durant got there. So, Curry is, he's a good wingman. He is a wonderful outside shooter. He is not Durant. Simple as that. The team that won 73 games lost to Cleveland in the final. The year that they did win the championship, Irving didn't play, nor did Love. So Curry he's great, but he's not transcendent like, to me, Durant is. As far as again, Kerr is an interesting topic. Kerr's going to have to go to another team. Phil Jackson went to another team. Now, he went to Kobe and Shaq, but he went to another team. Riley went to some other teams. He's going to have to go to some other teams before I'm going to sit there and saint him as one of the great all-time coaches. I mean, Luke Walton, the year he was out, they won 27 in a row, whatever the stretch, 24 in a row to start the season. He missed the playoffs a lot last year, and, obviously Mike Brown won whatever it may have been, a couple of series in a row. I think he sets a perfect template for him. I think he creates the tempo. I think he doesn't take himself too seriously. He kind of stays out of the way. He tries to get them to play the proper way. It's great about systems, but I'll tell you, half the baskets that Durant made last night were not result of passes. Half the baskets he made last night was Durant making 25-footers with people in his face, but he's 7 foot tall. And then, of course, when Thompson's wide open, they can throw him the ball because they're doubling Durant and other people. So the system's a little overrated. System's about players. That's why the Phil system was always overrated. They didn't win without Jordan. They won with him, not without him. So that's why the triangle offense was a complete it was just completely overrated. Coaching is about getting the players to play the proper way, getting them to play hard, share the ball. That's what coaching's about. But if you have those kind of players anyway, as Golden State has proved with Mike Brown for a while in the last year's postseason, obviously Luke Walton a couple years ago to start the year, you can still win. You can still win. He is going to end up winning 5 or 6 championships. There's no other way around it. He's going to win that many. But it's almost like, in my eyes, to really go down as one of the great all-time coaches, I like to see him, let him go take a team that isn't so top-heavy with talent and win there. And then I'd be impressed. Let's put it this way. Brad Stevens would win with this team, too. Let's put it that way. Let's not kid ourselves. Here's Eric in San Jose, California, and he's with us here, and he's on as I get this button pressed properly on Mad Dog Russo. Yes, Eric, take it away. What do you have for me today?
I got to disagree with some of what you're saying because, look, even though...
All right, Eric's on a bad phone line, so we're going to try Chad in California. He's aboard. He's on Mad Dog Unleashed. Chad, welcome. How are you today, pal? What do you have for me?
Doing good, Chris. Just wanted to weigh in on the Warriors. I'm with you. This season is going to keep on going. If you look at Durant, when he was in Oklahoma City, he was already, one of the best scorers in the NBA. 6'11", he could shoot it from anywhere, pretty much do anything he wants on the court. Then you combine him with these other guys. You put him with Green and Thompson and Curry. It's just effortless. They just go out there and, you throw in Iguodala who can play defense. You look at Green who can play defense, and then even Thompson that can play defense. These guys are just so versatile. This is going to keep on going like this. In the regular season, it was a good regular season. I'm a Nuggets fan. I enjoyed the drama all the way down to the wire. But at the end of the day, once the playoffs start, it's just Golden State's time to shine. They just kick it into another gear. And it's to a point where we had to mentally lie to ourselves and pretend that this Houston Rockets Golden State series was going to be this big thing and it was going to be the best basketball we've seen. And then once it played out in front of us, we realized that we were just lying to ourselves, and Golden State is still the unstoppable team that no one else can compete with, and it's just going to continue like that. And we just remember how boring it was, and all that false hope just goes away.
Well, listen, you don't want to write the series off yet, but Houston's not winning this NBA playoff series. We all know that. It's a fait accompli. I said before the series began, if Houston can put Golden State in a must-win or in a precarious position, even if they ended up losing, I would be impressed. Houston's not going to be able to do that in this series. I mean, Houston will probably win a game or two. If they win the second game, they'll do it down 3-1. I think they have a good chance to win tomorrow night, but then they lose the 2 games in Oracle. I would think if they ever got back 2-2, I'd be mighty impressed with them. But I don't know if they're going to do that. Golden State, again, they've lost 3 playoff games in 2 years. Now, again, listen, they had a great rating last night. They had a good rating for the game. Everybody, Golden State's a fun team to watch. They got 3 great players on it. We understand that. But I, as a sports fan, I would rather see Tiger Woods be challenged than watch Tiger Woods win another major by 20 strokes. That's what I would like to see. And you're not going to see that with this Warrior team. They're too good. Half past, here's Justin Shackle, Mad Dog Unleashed.